Welcome guys to another video, and I've got Thomas here with me again. This is his second time joining me on a video here on the channel. And the topic that we want to talk about today is how to build a strong cash buyer list going into 2021, coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's virtual flipper kit with everything you need to flip houses without seeing them in person. Download it now at virtualflipperkit.com.
Hey, if you're new here, I'm Jerry Norton, and I went from dead broke to millionaire flipping real estate, and I created this channel after doing 1,000 deals to help you master the art of wholesaling and flipping so you can live your dream life. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. All right, Thomas, it's awesome to have you back here for another video. I really enjoyed the first video we did. If you guys missed that, I'll put a link in the description below. Be sure to go back and watch that because Thomas shared on that video really his vision for how he's blowing up his business. He's in 13 markets, expanding into many more. His goal is to hit 200 million in revenue by the end of 2021 and be in like 100 markets. So he's got some huge aspirations, big goals. I believe you're going to get there, Thomas, because you just have like determined to get to those goals, which is really exciting. Yeah. And I appreciate the input that you shared on that first video. And I really want to talk about this topic of a cash buyer list, and not so much the list per se, but more the relationship and how critical cash buyers are to this business. And I know coming from your background and kind of your training and your philosophy, you know, coming from Keegley and being a Keegley franchisee, the idea there is, you know, we're going to go out and we're going to build these really strong relationships with these buyers. So much so that I'm their go-to guy. Like when they need a deal, they call me and I make sure I get a deal for them. Yep. And by doing that, these cash buyers now create this bond and this loyalty to you. And now you're their source of deals. Correct. And a lot of times I think we think that I've got to have thousands of cash buyers. I know I've thought that and built this massive list. I don't even know who most of these people even are. You know, I have no relationship with them. They're just on a text or an email. And that's so not effective, right? I mean, tell me how you're doing it. Tell me your philosophy first with how you cultivate your cash buyers.
So really, I look at the flips that are on the market right now, what's recently renovated, what buyers are looking for their next flip already. So like I target, wherever I find deals in, I target that area, look at the newest listings, and whatever is renovated, I contact those agents and ask them, hey, is your buyer looking for his next flip?
Love it. And
then I get in contact with that agent, I do a couple deals through that agent, and then they find, you know, like it's my foot in the door.
Yeah. Now let's break this down here, guys, because I teach this strategy and I follow this strategy to a T. The reason why this is so powerful, what Thomas is sharing here, is when you reach out to an agent who just sold or they have listed or pending even a flip, you're talking to a local active flipper who's in the business, and that is your best cash buyer you could ever find because they're doing it, right?
Yes, and they're looking for the next one.
And they're looking for their next deal, or they're thinking about their next deal, right? So it's funny you say this. We're doing a closing tomorrow from when we're recording this here in Mesa, Arizona. And my deal, you know, I had a buyer at 220, I had another buyer at 225, but following the strategy you just said, we called an agent on a flip that's in the same neighborhood. So literally the same neighborhood. And they just got their house under contract. So it's pending now. And the agent said, we were just starting to look for our next deal when you called. Boom, and they're paying $230, so we're getting like a premium because they're like the same neighborhood. Oh my gosh, we love it because we know this neighborhood, and because of the same neighborhood, the timing, everything just kind of aligned where it was like that. And this is a buyer that we didn't know, never dealt with before, not on a list or anything, but it was literally looking at what's on Zillow in our neighborhood. It's so easy to identify a flipper because there's three things we look for. Is it newly renovated? Is it vacant? And then the third one, which is optional, is it staged? Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. But in like 2 seconds flat, you're like, that's a flip. Look, everything's brand new. Right?
Most definitely.
So it's so easy to find these.
Yes.
And they're buyers. They're your next cash buyer.
And so once you find these guys, you really do everything you can to find out what their need is, what their vision is. Start going deep, like
how many deals they do.
How many deals they do. Yeah. Like what's
their
shooting
formula?
for. Yeah. Like what is holding them back from doing more deals, and how you could possibly fill in a need that they're looking for, whether it's contractors, if they need more contractors, if they need more funds, if they need, whatever it is, more time to, between each deal or whatever it is that they're looking for. You want to fill that void.
Yeah, so that's huge.
And be that guy that they could count on.
And I like that you said go to the agent. Now, you could skip trace, go around the agent, go straight to the investor flipper. I don't do that either. What I found is those agents are huge resources because they don't just know that flipper, but they know this flipper and that flipper. And hey, I know. So what I'll do is I'll take a deal. This is a strategy I do. I don't know if you do this, Thomas, but I'll get the deal. Then like in this example that I just shared, I'll have a deal. I'll call up an agent that represented a flipper on something local, and I'll say, hey, I got this deal. Your flipper might be interested. If they're not, for whatever reason, do you know anyone else that's looking for a deal? And it's almost every time they say, oh, for sure, I know this investor, I know another investor, I know a bunch of people that might want to look at your deal. It doesn't cost you anything because when that agent brings a deal to their investor, they're getting the relist more than likely, right? Yes. They're bringing value to their client. Mm-hmm. So I don't even pay the agent any kind of referral fee. I used to, but you don't need to. They don't even ask for it.
Exactly. Nope. They're listing on the back end. And then another thing is they already have that rapport built with that buyer. Yes. So they already have that relationship. So it's an easy in. Yeah. And it's that much easier to sell that deal to them because they already trust that realtor. Mm-hmm. So it's just...
Yeah. It doesn't require that you take all this time to build a list. A lot of people think, well, I see this taught. Unfortunately, I see this misinformation taught all over the place. It's prevalent on YouTube, which is go build a list first and then start looking for deals. And there's nothing wrong with that other than don't wait for anything. Always, start the business. Always make offers. Always look for deals. You can find a buyer after you have a deal with zero list, following just this one strategy that fast.
Yes, it's harder to get the deal than it is to sell the deal.
Always,
if it's a good deal, then it'll get sold.
Exactly. The hardest part of the business, at least today, in today's market, is finding those good deals, right? So I love that's a really great strategy. And I hope you guys caught Thomas's philosophy, which is, it's not just about finding a ready and willing buyer. That's part of it. That's important, obviously. But it's all about that relationship because that cash buyer, flipper, he may know other wholesalers, right? He has methods that he could find his own deals. But why would he want to do that? Flippers want to flip, just like landlords want a landlord, right? They don't want to do acquisitions. That's why there are wholesalers. Yep. The reason why there are wholesalers is because fix and flippers do not want to do acquisitions. And buy and hold investors, they just want another property. And so if you can make that process of getting their next deal easier and easier and easier, and you're their go-to, they will become loyal buyers for you.
These guys are super busy. Yeah. They don't have time to really dig for deals every single day. I have buyers that would only buy from me, no other wholesaler, no other source. He would see another wholesaler send out a deal and he would go to me and say, hey, I want this deal. I'll pay you $5,000 more if you could just
go take care of it
be
for
the
me.
middleman. They would pay a service just so I would be involved in the transaction.
Because they know you'll get it to the finish line.
Exactly. And they know I'll make it as easy as absolutely possible.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cool. And so, that's the trick right there. I think that's the lesson. That's the big takeaway that I hope you guys gather here is building that strategic relationship. So what I call it, Thomas, is I call it profiling your buyer, which means every time I talk to a cash buyer, I want to find out, what areas do you like? What types of houses do you look for? What's your formula? How many deals do you do a year? When are you going to be looking for your next deal? If I bring you a deal that fits your formula, are you ready to buy it? Will you buy it right now? What are your constraints? How can I help you? All of those things. that are going to just go way above and beyond what everybody else typically does.
Correct.
And when I bring a deal to them, I do as much work as I can. I say, look, here's all the comps that I ran. And I try to be honest about that and fair and realistic. I don't want, if they at all feel like I'm fudging numbers, you're going to lose credibility really quickly.
Yep, and repeat business.
Yeah. So here's that. Here's a breakdown of the repairs.
Yep.
In fact, you know that roof it needs? I already got 3 bids for it.
Yep.
Here's 3 bids from contractors.
Exactly.
Or, hey, I had an inspection done. Here's the inspection report because it has a foundation issue or whatever it is.
Yep.
You know, here's the title company. This title company, they do 100 wholesales a month. They're amazing. Here's who I think we should use for the title.
Yep.
You know, whatever it is.
Exactly.
All of those things just go so far with your cash buyers. And then what you can do is you can treat every cash buyer, I think you were telling me this, you treat every cash buyer like an A-list buyer, like VIP.
Yep.
And I know what you want. I'm not bringing you stuff you don't want. I'm bringing you exactly what you said you want.
Exactly.
And here it is.
Exactly. You're working for them.
Yeah.
In every way. Yeah, like when I send a property to somebody, I know the cross streets, I know how much it's going to cost to renovate from my contractor. I give them that bid breakdown. They buy that deal over the phone every time from me, normally, because I have every answer that there could possibly be looking for. That's how it is.
There's not 5 pictures, there's 200 pictures or whatever. Put yourself in their shoes, right? If you were to make a decision, what is everything you'd want to see to feel totally 100% comfortable?
Correct.
It's going to make you 100 times better wholesaler because now you can bring things to them in a way where they're going to see it the way they need to see it, right?
Correct.
And you understand that.
Most
So love
definitely.
that. Awesome, guys. So your goal for 2021 is to follow what Thomas is teaching here, what he does in his business, and that is to really focus on those relationships. It's not just about having some big list. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And you can have a list of 10 cash buyers that are each doing 50 deals a year, and that's all you need, and you'll crush it, and you'll have an amazing business. It could be that powerful.
Yep.
So it's never about the size, it's always about those relationships.
Most definitely.
So focus on that, you guys, and you'll really do well with your wholesaling business. Any other tips that you're focusing on for 2021? Or just keep building those relationships?
Just building those relationships, adding value to wherever I can. Thinking, I'm going into commercial. Anything that my buyers possibly want to get into, I want to make sure I'm doing myself so that I have that experience to be able to relate and bring that value towards them.
Okay, love it, guys. So I want you guys to follow Thomas and his success here. Like I said in the very beginning of the video, his goal for this next year is to get into 100 markets and do 200 million in revenue.
Correct.
So Thomas, I wish you the best of luck. I want to be a part of that journey. So please share with me how that goes for you.
Yep.
And let's tear it up, man. Let's have a good year. All right. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you on the next video.